outset, as a former proud Arlington Young Democrat, how incredible the Arlington Young Democrats are. They deserve another round of applause. They are kicking butt and taking names every year, so thank you very much. I also, before I begin, I want to give a special shout out to the love of my life, who I met at the Arlington Young Democrat meeting in 2003, and my little boy, Aaron Raphael and Sarah Zevin. Without their love and support, none of this would be possible, and it wouldn't be nearly as worthwhile. I also want to give a shout out to someone who never gets a shout out, my incredible friend and a real service. He does such great service to the people of the 49th District. Jason Stanford, who works with me. It's always an honor to be here with you tonight and literally every time, because the Arlington County Democrats are a special organization. We're the kind of organization not just about winning elections, we're doing it very well, I might add, but we're about taking our shared values and putting them into action. So it is as a part of that community, as a part of this community, that I take great pride in announcing my campaign for re-election to be the delegate from the 49th District. It's been said frequently over the last couple of years that these last 2 years in the House of Delegates and the General Assembly have been some of the most remarkable in recent memory, and that's very true. We've passed incredible legislation. We've moved forward significantly on transportation. We've taken incredible steps forward on Medicaid. But we've also been remarkable for some other reasons. The last 2 years is for the first time in a very long time that the Republicans have controlled the governor, the LG, the AG, the Senate, and the House. And because of that, some legislation that they put forward year after year after year that never would have gotten pushed forward and passed miraculously last year and this year. And I'm not just talking about cuts to the social safety net, cuts to children's aid, cuts to education. I'm talking about demonizing immigrants, passing Arizona and Alabama-style anti-immigrant legislation, and feeling no remorse for doing it. Passing ugly anti-women's choice legislation, passing the transvaginal ultrasound bill. I saw one of the ugliest things I've ever seen in my entire life. When lies were spread in the dead of night in the General Assembly, the floor of the House of Delegates, about an eminently qualified judicial nominee. Lies, simply because of his sexual orientation. You know what? That's not the right direction for Virginia. I'm incredibly proud to stand with my fellow members of the House of Delegates and the State Senate, Adam Evans, my mentor and predecessor, standing up for Arlington values, standing up in opposition to this ugliness that we see. Also, I'm not making this up. On a party line vote, we saw the House pass legislation setting aside $17,000 last year to study the creation of our very own Virginia-based currency because of the imminent collapse of the Federal Reserve System. The House passed this on a party line vote. Set aside $17,000. I gave a speech to him afterwards saying, I'd like my face to be on the $5 bill and Bob Briggs' face to be on the $10 bill. That way in Virginia it would cost a Brink and a Lopez to buy a pizza. $17,000. They were prepared to spend $17,000 on that. But they weren't prepared to spend $16,000 on making sure that we had no excuse absentee voting for people over the age of 65. We have choices to make. And do we focus on the needs of families? Do we focus on jobs in the economy? Do we help people with a leg up and a hand up? Or do we keep focusing on some Republicans' narrow social agenda? And imagine for a moment a Virginia that reflected our priorities and Arlington values. Imagine a government that did all it could to protect the environment, that did all it could to invest in renewable energy. One where sensible gun violence prevention legislation, like almost universally adored background check legislation, wasn't killed out of hand. And one where we actually paid teachers a livable wage, not just in Northern Virginia, but all across the Commonwealth. In this room, we know that what's good for the environment is good for the economy. In this room, we know that education is the foundation for a better economy in the future. And we also know that diversity makes us a stronger, richer society. We also know that tolerance, compassion, and protecting the civil rights of everyone is simply the right thing to do. I'm proud to have been a part of bringing Arlington values to Richmond this past year. I'm proud of the fact that I was able to pass several pieces of legislation, everything from election reforms to clean fuel vehicles legislation to increase funding for free clinics. I'm very proud to have provided full funding for child abuse centers across the state, and also to have helped pass the first affordable housing trust fund in Virginia. With your help, if I'm reelected, I pledge to continue fighting for better schools, sustainable transportation solutions, civil rights for all, stronger environmental protections, new jobs and economic development, and safeguards for our vital small businesses. And more importantly, I want to keep fighting for the Arlington values that we all hold dear. I hope you'll give me the chance to continue fighting for us in Richmond. Tonight, I ask for your help and your vote. I also hope you'll do everything you can to help every Democrat in Virginia this year, because we have a real opportunity to take back and move forward again. Let's take back Virginia for Democrats and move Virginia forward again. That's our applause line for Democrats. One way you can help is to come to our campaign kickoff event. The announcement's on everybody's chair. Hopefully you're not sitting on it. It's our second annual Politics in the Park. It's a great family picnic at Barrowcroft Park, 4-mile run on May 12th from 4 to 7. It's going to be a lot of statewide candidates are going to be there. We're going to have our first Arlington statewide Democratic straw poll, and barbecue and moon bounce for kids. And more importantly, half the proceeds are going to be going to top-tier targeted Democrat races across the Commonwealth of Virginia. So thank you. Let's win in Virginia, let's win in Arlington, and let's take back the House of Delegates.